Welcome, everyone, to Jimmy John's Field. So glad you could tune in here today for the Westside Willie Mammoths and the home Utica Unicorns. Jeremy Otto alongside Nick Matthews to bring you the call here today. So glad you could join us on what is a perfect day for baseball in the end. The tarp was on the field to begin things here today. We're ready to go in what is now a 67-degree day.
It looks like the sun decided to show its face after a long cloudy day, but it looks like we're going to have a good day for some baseball.
We thank the following sponsors for their sponsorship of the USPBL network this year. Ascension, Balfour Property Restoration, Budweiser, DTE Energy, Fifth Third Bank, Jarbcom, Jimmy John's, Macomb Community College, McLaren Macomb, McQuaid Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Refrigeration, your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers, Pepsi, Scott's, and UWM. We thank all those fine partners for what they do for the USPBL. It's Riggleman against Adrian Cook when we get back on the USPBL network. Stick with us.
Slide into a new home. Work with a local mortgage pro who works for you. Get a cheaper, faster, easier home loan. Find a mortgage broker near you today at findamortgagebroker.com.
You hear about the promo that Jimmy's John's got going on? 5 off 20? How they pulling it off? Magic? You got David's Copperfields in there? Show yourself, Copperfields!
Jimmy John's. $5 off orders of 20 or more.
Jeremy Otto back alongside Nick Matthews to bring you the call here today. Time to check your starting lineups for the game. First for the visiting Westside Woolly Mammoths. It'll be Elijah Brown at the top here today, starting to heat up, 5 for 33, but also has a good amount of stolen bases to this point. He'll play first base. Nick Caruso bats second and catches. Brian Leaf, a newcomer to look out for, the designated hitter. He hits the ball hard. Houston Parker will bat cleanup and play third. Connor Bagneski bats in the 5-hole as he plays left. Greg Vaughn Jr. bats sixth and plays right. Tanner Thomas begins the bottom of the order as he plays center field and bats seventh. Christian Perez back at second base today as he bats eighth. And Buddy DeWayne will round out the order playing shortstop as they face Riggleman on the bump here today. As for the home Utica Unicorns, it's Drew Galassi who will lead things off and play center field. Malik Bolden bats second and plays left. Leandy Castro will bat third and play right. Ari Sikopoulos, one of the members of the Home Run Derby here tomorrow. Looking forward to watching that. He'll bat fourth and play first today. Noah Childress back in the DH spot. 318, one of the better averages in the USPBL thus far. He'll bat fifth. Kevin Lambert in the 6-hole as he plays third base. Louis Attilas hits seventh and plays short. Matt Parkinson bats eighth and catches here today. And John Hodo will round things out. His average right at 300 entering play today. playing second base as well against Adrian Crook. There is Adam Riggleman on the mound here for the Utica Unicorns here today. The 6'2", 200-pound man out of Glenville State as well. Where's number 21? Looking forward to seeing his fourth start today.
Adam Riggleman out of Beverly, West Virginia.
Talked about it a little bit in our first segment here, but the rain kind of moved in. They had taken off the tarp after it was originally on before batting practice. The Unicorns were able to do, I'd say, a few rounds, if that, of on-field BP, and then the rains really started to come down heavily. They rushed out the tarp, got the turtle from behind home plate out of there, and were able to get it on and make sure this field was playable by the time things were said and done. But the rain ceased for the most part about an hour before today's game, so they had some time to make it look good. Some of the players going to take batting practice behind the left field wall. There's a couple cages out there. Ready to play baseball here today on time, which is a good thing. So Elijah Brown, who hit his first professional home run last week in one of the public games. This Westside team playing one non-public game before this game here today.
Unfortunately, they had that rotten luck with a sudden death loss.
At 2-2 the score of that one. The Hoppers winning it with DeSanti shutting them out on the mound as Brown jackknifes out of the way of the first pitch, delivered today at 7:05.
It'll be Brown, Caruso, and Leaf to start off the game.
Now the 1-0, a fastball that tried to nip the corner. 2-0 quickly here on Brown.
Brown, one of those good batters that can see a lot of pitches, though, and get on base, drawing a lot of walks this season.
Yeah, he has had a lot of longer at-bats. Getting his pitch. There's his pitch. Line drive to right. Castro going back, leaping, looks up, and it's gone. Elijah Brown, a home run in the last 2 weeks.
Good leadoff home run, exactly what this Mammoths team needed to keep up with this Unicorns' red-hot offense, and this is a good sign for the Mammoths already.
On a line, kind of how his first one was as well. Trickled onto the berm. Castro had a bit at it. We saw a pretty hefty wind blowing out to left center field when BP was still going on. Maybe that's because of the weather incoming, but that's kind of seized. And it's a bit more muggy.
A lot of moisture still in the air.
It's been pretty muggy overall in the Metro Detroit area the last week.
Before the game, the wind was blowing. The flag was screaming out there. Now things have kind of died down.
Here's a 1-0 from Riggleman. Fastball high. 2-0 on Nick Caruso. Riggleman comes into play today with 5 walks to 13 strikeouts.
Just a 3.60 ERA.
Had a very short last outing. That was Saturday in the doubleheader, first game of it, but that was because it was the only game of the week for these Unicorns, so they kind of wanted to get everybody some work, more of a bullpen day. 2-0. Knotted on the corner for strike one. Fastball at 91 to Caruso.
Yeah, collectively, this Unicorns team has a lot of good pitchers and only a 2.90 team ERA.
2-2 on Caruso now. 182 average for Nick.
Doesn't reflect how hard he hits the ball.
Yeah, one of the harder hitting second place hitters in this league, as that one runs in for the first K and the first out for Adam Riggleman. Much needed after the leadoff home run here in the first. Really good looking slider there from Riggleman. He is a four-seam, a sinker, a slider, and a curveball. We haven't registered many curveballs thus far this year. As that first pitch framed in by Parkinson behind the plate. Time to check defense, brought to you by Three Dimensional Services Group. It's Parkinson behind the plate. Pick it up after this as Riggleman likes to work pretty quickly. At least come set. Here's the 0-1. Another nasty slider. Dips below the belt buckle. Lambert at third. Sakopoulos on first. John Hodo at second with Attilis at short. Bolin in left. Galassi in center. And Castro completing the outfield. 0-2. Two nasty sliders in that at bat. And Brian Leaf goes down swinging.
Back to what we said about the not registering a whole lot of curveballs. A lot of these pitchers this year are kind of favoring the slider as their takedown pitch.
Yeah. And every once in a while, it's kind of harder to differentiate the slider from the curveball on some guys. But that definitely looks like a slider. Metrically and break-wise, what he's delivered so far here in the first. There's another. Snaps in for strike one.
Houston Parker, another solid Mammoth hitter.
Yeah, there's a few cogs in each of these lineups. I mean, the lineups have kind of changed as the year goes on, as it will in any year, just because there's going to be guys in and out, cut and kept. But these teams starting to figure out what they like best and where they like guys. What does he go with on 0-2? And slider, slider, slider. That one, the fastball at 89 outside. First inning brought to you by Ascension. We thank Ascension for their partnership with the USPBL network. Now awaiting the 1-2. Slider again, but looked at it the whole way. I think they'd like to see a few more fastballs out of Riggleman going forward. Obviously he has good breaking stuff, but they also think the fastball can be a weapon as well. 2-2, pumped foul.
Also, the more fastballs you're going to see is more a straight-on approach with it and not going to be as much wear and tear on your elbow.
Riggleman really talked about how much of a different year it was for him this year as a pitcher. He wasn't just a thrower anymore. He was a pitcher, which is an important discovery for a lot of these guys. 2-2, slider away. 3-2. You can have good stuff. You can have a good fastball. You can have a good breaking ball, but if you don't know necessarily when to throw a pitch or how to attack a batter, it can go sideways on you pretty fast. A slider in on the hands and popped foul. Connor Bagneski on deck. Then it'll be Greg Vaughn Jr. here in the first inning.
It's a good battle by Houston Parker, finding a few pitches and working himself into a 3-2 count on an 0-2 start.
Outfield's pretty deep. Infield deep as well with nobody on as this one whittled fouled on the third base line. We've seen a lot of the infielders have to come in, and a lot of them have made some really nice plays, I feel like, in the last few weeks.
Especially Yadi Rivera over at third base for the Hoppers has made a lot of fantastic bang-bang plays over there. A lot of good gloves in this league, too.
Some exciting outfielders to watch it as well, just run to baseballs. 3-2, hit him. Boy, you could tell that Riggleman wanted that one to kind of break at the body of Parker and then zoom back in, and he's even arguing, hey, he kind of maybe reached his elbow out and make an effort to get out of the way, but regardless, Houston Parker will trot to first.
It's another batter who loves to work the count in his favor and get on base however he can.
So here's Connor Bagneski now, the left-hander, to continue this inning. It was a good bounce back there by Riggleman after the leadoff line drive home run. He fell behind Eli Brown 2-0, and Brown rocketed one that carried Castro in right to give the Mammoths an early 1-0 lead. Struck out Caruso and Leaf, though, two good hitters. And kind of a 3-2 battle there with Houston Parker ended in the hit batter, so he stands on first. Here's a 1-0 to Bagneski. Fastball at 90, whistled foul.
Well, that home run just kept going and going. It was hot off the bat of Elijah.
Elijah Brown, a guy that chokes up on the bat. We talked to him about it. Hey, he said it's all science. I like to get leverage with my bat.
He's also not one of those heavier players and uses any advantage he can.
1-1, roped into right field, a base hit. Houston Parker round second base. He's headed to third. Bagneski will take the turn as well. He'll dance into second base with a stand-up double. And now 2 more runners in scoring position here in the first with 2 outs.
That was good location there from Connor Bagneski to pop one over, who was Sakopoulos over at first instead of Bolin, into right field. And it's a good solid hit. Finds himself on second base, and now Parkinson is going to have a little chat with Riggleman.
That hit on the changeup, I believe the first changeup we've seen so far today from Riggleman. Now you mentioned Sakopoulos down at first. They switched Bolin and Sakopoulos at the last moment for whatever reason in the lineup. Both of those guys are kind of comfortable playing both of those positions, but
so it's not going to phase him too much.
And decided that's the way they wanted to go after the lineups were released here today. First pitch to Greg Vaughn Jr., fastball away, 1-0.
Vaughn Jr. going to be in the home run derby tomorrow. See if he can defend his title.
Has just won this year, but he only entered, I think, a couple or maybe 3 last year, and he put in an absolute show.
Yeah, he did.
Here at Jimmy John's Field. Swing and a miss by Greg. Just a fun storyline last year, obviously, with his father and him hitting nearly 400 home runs in the big leagues himself. We've seen him here or there at Jimmy John's Field at times. Greg Vaughn Sr., the 1-1, slider high.
And Junior slapped about 10 of them or more in the last year's contest.
Had a bit more trouble locating the breaking ball here as his inning has gone on. There's strike 2. Maybe not breaking exactly how he wants it to. So saw the one hit Houston Parker. I think that he was expecting to go more towards the center of the plate in the end. Now the 2-2 with 2 outs. Swing and a miss. Heavy dose of slider here in the first inning, and Riggleman strikes out the side. The home run by Elijah Brown, the only damage done. Had a hit by pitch and a double, which he strands at second and third. And that's it for the top half of inning number 1. Now down to Chelsea Estes in the stands here today. Chelsea?
Before I get started, I gotta say, although I'm a Michigan State Spartan, I gotta say, fire up chips in honor of my husband and all those Central Michigan fans here today. But hey guys, here we go. I'm here, JJ the Field General, presented by Michigan First Credit Union, and he chose a very special fan in the stand today. He chose Martha to give these beautiful bouquet of roses to, presented by Thrifty Florist. So thank you, Thrifty, and thank you, JJ, for choosing such a wonderful fan. Johnny, back to you.
That's Chelsea Cooper, I beg your pardon. Tossing it back to Johnny G, your public address announcer. Chelsea getting married in the offseason here in the USPBL. Time to check your freaky fast facts, brought to you by Jimmy John's here today. You can get a unicorn hunting license from Lake Superior State University in Michigan. Interesting.
Huh.
Have to look that one up. The average person will spend 6 months of their life waiting for red lights to turn green. Goodness, I just had this conversation earlier today. Now the third one. A bolt of lightning contains enough energy to toast 10,000 or 100,000 slices of bread. Well, there you go. Get your bread out when the lightning is about to come. Might get a little soggy, though. Adrian Cook will take over here in the bottom of the first inning as he faces Drew Galassi, Malik Bolin, and Leandy Castro. Let's take a peek at the defense first behind Adrian. Brought to you by Three Dimensional Services Group here today. It's Bagneski in left, Tanner Thomas in center, Greg Vaughn Jr.'s in right, Houston Parker on third, Elijah Brown at first, Perez and Dwayne, your double play combination with Nick Caruso behind the plate here today. Well, Adrian, fastball, slider, changeup. A guy that's a returner from the USPBL after going off to the American Association at the very end of last year, then pitching in the Mexican League for 4 or 5 appearances, and had about a month in between his last appearance there and his first appearance here. So he's really been gradually working himself back up to where he wants to be, and he was very happy about his last start where he went 4 innings, allowing just 1 hit, no runs, and no walks.
Very good outing losing last time out on the bump. Now here's Drew Galassi, one of the captains for tomorrow's All-Star game.
Yeah, a little bit of a different kind of selection process there. You can watch it on YouTube if you've missed it. The guys kind of going one after another like a draft and picking who they wanted on their teams.
It would be Drew Galassi and Ari Sakopoulos, both unicorn players, are going to be the captains of the teams.
Oh, 1 away, 1-1 here on Drew Galassi.
I briefly watched it, and the first picks for each side were both taking catchers, which is kind of smart. Have somebody decent behind the plate.
Shot to second base. Perez will make the play out of first. Yeah, it's obviously a little bit of a challenge for those catchers. They've seen a lot of these pitchers and probably faced them at the plate, and they'll obviously know their guys. It's not a huge league, so it's not going to be that much of a learning curve, but they're also used to catching guys they haven't seen before just because of all the movement that happens and the new guys that come in maybe at the last second who they haven't even caught a pen for. Another new pitcher on the Unicorns roster here today that we might see today. That's Austin Calipetro. As Sakopoulos banged that one, he says off his leg, and there was no clear indication at first, but that is what they will call. For good measure, Parker and Brown trying to combine for the early second out here in the first inning.
Parker playing over at third base today. Normally he's taking the reins over at second, but Perez at second today, and Buddy Dwayne, they're having a little bit of a switcheroo here.
Yeah, Perez pretty much every game at shortstop since arriving to the USPBL. Now the 0-1. Slider in there for strike 2. You can just tell the added confidence that Adrian has as this goes on. Another slider there at 80. And he was a really good arm in the USPBL last year. Through 40 innings. Struck out 11 per 9. Started more as a back-end bullpen guy and then transitioned to a starter, which I think ultimately he liked as the year went on. Preferred that. The 0-2. In the hands at 91 and fouled away.
He proved himself in the relief spot to get himself more innings per timeout.
The 0-2 again. Slider looping into right and twisting his Brown a bit. Just can't get back to his spot for that one. That one's going to be a really tough play as Malik Bolin dumps in a single with 1 out here in the first.
It was a tailing away looper. It was going to be a tough play anyway for Elijah Brown, and that was going to drop 9 times out of 10. Doesn't matter who's over there.
Good bounce back by Adam Riggleman in that first inning. Brown himself hit one in that direction on a line that carried Castro in right field for a solo shot to begin this ballgame. Then 2 strikeouts to Caruso and Leaf. He hit Houston Parker on a 3-2 pitch, just kind of a looping slider. Maybe stuck that elbow out a bit. And then the double down the line, and you thought, uh-oh, runners on second and third, 2 outs. Is the rally going to start here? But no. Riggleman able to strike out Vaughn Jr. as well. So 3 Ks in that first inning and a home run, so good and bad. Now the 0-1. Fastball. All right, well, I'm going to let you know that over-registered on the scoreboard. It said 102. Flight Scope says 91. I'm going to trust that one more so. think there's been only one or two arms in the USPBL in their 7-year history that's hit maybe that mark or near it, as Castro sees it escape, Bolin to second base, and it has not been one of my 3 years yet. But you never know. So Bolin on second base. It's a big advantage. We'll play out of order here with 2 strikes. Now the 1-2. Slider off the end of the bat.
Good spoil from Leandy. He barely got that.
Castro hitting 240 coming into play here today. 240 with some modest power, 4 extra base hits thus far. Here's the 1-2. 93, and it played up in on the hands with some late life for strike 3. His first K here today, and Adrian Cook looking to get out of this inning without any trouble brewing.
And here's the other captain for tomorrow's All-Star game, Ari Sakopoulos.
He has 7 home runs. Going to be a fun guy to watch in the home run derby. And they have not been cheapy home runs either.
No,
They've
have
been
not.
convincing. Most to right field. I think we've seen 1 or 2 to left center as well. First pitch to Ari. Fastball at 92 zings in for strike 1. And that's one thing that Adrian kind of talked about. What felt good on the mound was his velo kind of ticking up as the innings went on. Not the inverse of losing your velo as the game goes on. The 0-1 bounces off of Caruso as Bolin heads to third. So the margin tightens here in the first as the tying run just 90 feet away.
It was kind of an awkward slide over there from Malik Bolin. Kind of skipped up onto the bag and looked like Jim Essien wanted to call time for his player.
I kind of holding one of his knees maybe, but he looks to be okay down there. Houston Parker was talking with him as well. Now the 1-1. Fastball high. Cook very happy with his timing and just really liked how he got ahead of hitters nearly every at-bat in his last outing as well. That was back on Saturday the 2nd, first game of the doubleheader. The 2-1. Slider high.
Buddy Dwayne playing all the way up in Rover. Right back up the middle, and then Christian Perez over there playing deep for second base. Big shift here for Ari Sakopoulos.
They call me
Now the 3-1. Oh, way out in front of the slider there. 3-2 on Ari now.
Big hacking, big movement there from Adrian Cook.
2 sharp sliders we're seeing from these 2 starters today, Riggleman and Cook. Riggleman definitely threw it the majority of the time in that first inning. Cook relying on the fastball a bit more. 3-2, there it is again at the top at 92 mile an hour as he tips it into the glove. So 2 Ks back to back. We'll strand that runner in scoring position at third.
I'm all in with HR and Organizational Development Council.
I'm all in with Marketing and Business Development Council.
I'm all in with Operations and Member Experience Council.
I'm all in with CEO Council.
I'm all in with Lending Council.
I'm all in with CFO Council.
I'm all in with Technology Council.
Our
credit union is all in with CUNA Councils.
They call me Prospects. Since the day I was born as a diver's watch, the challengers of the world have taught me many things. Life is not a numbers game. It's about challenging ourselves. No matter what happens, just follow your heart. These pioneers drive our generation forward. Not by setting records, but by never giving up. Keep going forward. Prospects.
Available at Lucido Fine Jewelry.
To the second inning we go in a 1-0 game, thanks to the bat of Elijah Brown. Home run on a 2-0 pitch off a line over the head of Leandy Castro.
Out to the people on the berm.
That's a good little contingent out there. Always a good spot to watch the fireworks, which are, of course, here tonight on Friday. Fastball ducks off. Tanner Thomas at the plate there. The blankets out in full force. Lounging back. 1-0, fly ball to left center field. Bolin and Galassi converging here as that one is in for out number 1. Now Christian Perez will make his way to the plate. 3 for 19 starts for Perez to his professional career. Playing shortstop mostly at the University of Northwestern Ohio down in Lima.
Home of the Polar Bears.
Christian Perez looks at a ball outside. Buddy Dwayne on deck. He's the bottom of the order. So we see a few more fastballs here in the second inning by Riggleman. We saw sliders galore in that first, a lot of them being very sharp. That stretch really to Caruso and Leaf sticks out. Those were his best, I think. Had a good one to finish off Greg Vaughn Jr. as well. 1-1. Somehow got a piece of that one and rifled it foul. Reaching out above the helmet to get that. Slider poked into center. Galassi coming in. 2 up and 2 down here in the second. I think that's kind of exactly what the doctor ordered here for Riggleman. Fairly high pitch count to this point at 34. But if you can get a fairly quick inning here, 3 batters in the second, can get it right back in order.
Absolutely. Keep that pitch count down and extend his life of this game. Now here's Buddy Dwayne Jr. He's going to be in the home run derby tomorrow and the all-star game for Ari Sakopoulos' squad.
Popped it up long. Way to go for Sakopoulos himself. A slide at the last moment in front of that Mammoths dugout, but can't quite keep it up in the air. I think that's one thing as well, and obviously Ari has been here now, a little bit of time at the USPBL at the end of last, and a full year now, but even some of the new guys, they're patrolling all that foul territory pretty darn well. We've seen some nice catches. Elijah Brown even sticks out last week. He had a couple nice ones at first.
It's a fielder's paradise when you have all that room to work with, too.
On the ground to Attilis. Charity hop for him at the last moment. That's a 1-2-3 breeze of an inning for Adam Riggleman here in the second. Still stuck at a 1-0 lead here in the USPBL network.
Every summer, my family loves to have a neighborhood movie night in our backyard. And with my Chevy Blazer, I can head out and get everything we need for a great night. It has plenty of room for picking up friends, and the available hands-free liftgate is perfect for loading unhandy supplies. You know, it may be movie night, but my Blazer is the main attraction wherever I go.
Lease a 2022 Blazer 2LT for just $239 a month for 24 months. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
Check your checking. If your account doesn't get you pumped, amped, or geeked, make the switch to Genius Checking from Genesis Credit Union. It's just genius.
Slide into a new home. Work with a local mortgage pro who works for you. Get a cheaper, faster, easier home loan. Find a mortgage broker near you today at findamortgagebroker.com.
Adrian Cook Climbing atop the hill for his second inning of work. He looked sharp in that first, just allowing a blooping single down the first base line to Malik Bolin. Leandy Castro and Ari Sakopoulos struck out swinging to end that first inning as well.
Here's some not so freaky fast fact for you. So the national animal of Scotland is the unicorn.
Is it really?
Yes.
You find out any information about how you can get that, what was it, the unicorn hunting license?
The unicorn hunting license at Lake Superior State.
That's up in the Upper Peninsula, Sault Ste. Marie. Nice area if you've never been there. But
I have. I've been there. It's very nice. I've been up in the Skaney area for camping.
Yeah, Brimley State Park, right outside of Sault Ste. Marie, is a nice hidden gem there as well. Second inning brought to you by Jimmy John's. We thank Jimmy John's for their partnership with the USPBL. It'll be Noah Childress, Kevin Lambert, and Louis Attilis. 5-6-7 in the lineup for Jim Essian here tonight. Noah Childress slugging .477. Driven in 9 this year.
Here's something for you. The Lake Superior State University Questing Unicorn License.
First pitch slider here to Noah Childress for strike one.
And they have bag limits and questing seasons, too. All days of the year except Valentine's Day. No unicorn pursuit allowed during the 24 consecutive hours of love. Bow and arrow season runs the first week of October. Rubber-tipped arrows only. All right. And then 1 unicorn per month. A success ratio higher than this is often results in a form of euphoria, which sometimes requires a mental trust. Female unicorns also cannot be taken since there has never been a sighting of female unicorn.
Here's the 0-2, slider away. So is there a cost associated, or?
A note for grown-ups only, no kids allowed. Wow, apparently there's unicorn bait too. This is unreal.
Now the 1-2 to Childress, slider popped it up. Somebody's going to be able to catch that one in the air, maybe in the suites. These outfielders are very deep, even though there's no flag movement or much of it. The pennant's pretty much the only one moving right now in left field. I think the ball's going to carry here today. I think the ball off the bat of Brown was indication of that. 1-2, popped him up again. Caruso discards the mask, has some room. Brown also going over and kind of out of the reach of our cameras, at least at first, and it did skip foul in the end. So we saw a fastball as high as 93 in that first inning for Cook. That one 90.5. But it's velocity that's definitely been upticking as this year has gone on. The 1-2. Slider kept it on the plate a bit. Perez waddling in. Brown calling him off on the edge of the grass for out number 1.
It's good communication out there from Elijah because Perez was coming in thinking he's going to grab this ball, and so was Cook. But good call by the first baseman.
Here's Kevin Lambert now. You talk about home runs. He's also a guy that has 3 so far this year. You just see Cook get that tongue depressor out and try to get some dirt out of his cleats. It's one of those days where the dirt's going to stick in a little bit extra just because of the conditions before the game today. Raining for about an hour and heavily. First pitch to Lambert. Wow, funky looking changeup there for strike number 1. Just a little late curve.
Still clocking in at 86. Wow.
Now the 0-1. Went back to the fastball, remained high. Louis Attilis would be next, and Matt Parkinson. John Hodo, bottom of the order today for these Unicorns. Malik Bolin, the only man to get on. He singled back in the first. Here's the 1-1. Change up away. 2-1 now on Lambert.
And he threatened to get home too after a wild pitch to get to second, and then another wild pitch to get to third.
Adrian Cook did talk about his changeup. That last one was actually a slider, but he said that changeup was something he used more than ever, at least this year, and maybe in a long time in his last outing. Caruso, another long way to go. It's going to boink off that metal part at the top of the diamond tables down there. Boy, two odd locations. Kind of in that corner where you start to get down the first base line where things come together. It's kind of a straight line on the backstop, further than most, all the way across, which fits most of the grandstands here at Jimmy John's Field.
As we previously mentioned, big foul territory and fielder's paradise to try to make those plays, otherwise wouldn't be able to. This one's right back towards us, sweet. Wouldn't otherwise be able to make those plays.
All the heads turning around at the same time, wondering if that one may have come back down, but it did stay up towards the sweet area there. And this is a heck of a battle as well for Kevin Lambert. Battling this whole time with 2 strikes. Now the even pitch again. Slider popped it up foul.
Once again, all the heads turning.
.30 pitches deep here for Adrian Cook. Had a couple long counts to Castro and Sakopoulos before striking them out in the first as well. 2-2 spiked it. Looked like the changeup based off the velo as Caruso was able to pick it. And I think just looking at that and looking at what he's trying to do right now, trying to get some of that dirt out of the cleats on the rubber there, it's maybe causing a bit of trouble on his landing. Here's the 3-2. Shot foul as now Vaughn Jr. gives it a chase, but it's under one of those umbrellas. The patio spaces are the places to be tonight. Both down the first and third baseline in the Chevrolet Pavilion. In left, there's some pretty good crowds. Good grandstands crowd here tonight as well.
And even over on the lawn, too. Everywhere it's very healthy.
3-2 again, roped foul past Jim Essien down there.
Doing a little twirl for us.
He still got it. Finally in play, to left center field it goes in no man's land. And Dwayne makes a little over-the-shoulder catch for out number 2. It looked like Tanner Thomas might have the best chance at that ball right off the rip, the center fielder, but Dwayne and Perez and Bagneski all just kept going for it, and finally it was Dwayne who caught it.
Looks like Thomas had a little bit of a late jump on it, and Dwayne was unfortunately the best man to catch that ball, but good thing he came down with it.
First pitch to Attilis off the plate outside. 8 for 40 start for Lewis, the shortstop. 6 walks to 6 Ks, so has shown some decent discipline at the plate. Tanner Thomas, the right fielder, plays him well to the right of the second base bag as the fastball at 91 delivered outside.
Yeah, it looks like they're giving him that line over there in left field.
As you start to see more data, maybe you'll see more defensive alignments looking like this. We saw some exaggerated shifts at the end of last year, kind of in the last 2-3 weeks, maybe the last month, can't remember exactly, but guys where it was clear that they would pull the baseball as that fastball in at 92 for strike 1.
And you'll see it again here today's game when Ari Sakopoulos comes back up. We mentioned that they love to play him to the right side of the infield, giving him the left field line.
3-1 on Attilis now. Well, Adrian Cook, kind of a late bloomer as a pitcher. Didn't really start throwing in the 90s until his sophomore year in college. And then the scouts started to come around. The D1 offers started to unfold as well. 3-1 slider that Caruso tried to pull back in, but Attilis looking all the way for the second base runner of this game, a single and a walk given up by Cook thus far. So after his sophomore year, when he was in junior college, he just said, hey, I had one of the worst years of my career, just maybe a little bit too big-headed. Almost quit baseball, but then went to LSU Shreveport in the NAI, really got it back together, became a closer there, had a lot of success. Was supposed to play, or at least try out, for the USPBL in 2020, as Parkinson looks at a slider for strike one. Ended up having a false negative, or false positive COVID test, so that brought him out of the equation. And hard to get anywhere, really, if that was the case back in 2020.
Hardly go anywhere.
Stuck with it in 2021, made the team. The rest is history here for Adrian Cook. Some of the better stuff in the USPBL when it's right. 91 away to Parkinson here. Mostly a Eastside Diamond Hopper last year under Paul Nochi, who we will actually talked with in a couple innings here on the air, the new field coordinator in the USPBL. 1-1, runner in motion. He retreats back, though. That's Attilis, maybe trying to get in the head of Cook, as Parkinson sees the slider buried into the glove. Here's a good look at that hop and patio space down there. A couple big groups coming in over the next couple weeks. Here's a 1-2, runner in motion for sure this time. That's off the end of the glove. It's trouble. Parkinson to first. His fellow catcher will gun him out. Caruso with a good job, quickly escaping to the backstop. Hits Brown at first, and that will end the second inning. Still a 1-0 Mammoths lead.
Companies are competing for talent like never before. With the complexities of handling tasks like payroll, benefits administration, and other HR functions, it's easy to see how a professional employer organization like Tryon Solutions makes all the difference. Tryon empowers businesses of all sizes to attract and retain talent by offering access to top-tier healthcare and employee benefit plans. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
We joined Green Path and instantly felt a support around us.
They developed a plan on paper, and this is how we're going to do it.
The plan that they gave me was something that was sustainable. It was something I could do. It was actually lowering my payments monthly by hundreds of dollars.
Choosing Green Path is a no-brainer.
Adam Riggleman out there for his third inning of work. Kind of a elongated first, although he really did limit the damage. Able to strand two runners in scoring position. The hit by pitch by Houston Parker and the double by Connor Bagneski as well. Then the 1-2-3 second. All of it contact outs, but that's a decent way to get your pitch count back in order. So we'll see what holds here for the third.
Can really extend your life of the game by utilizing your defense and getting quick outs.
Here's Brown, who is responsible for the only run of this game, the home run to right off a line as he swings through it. Boy, not a lot happened in the bottom of the second inning in terms of base runners. We saw only one. It was a 3-1 walk to Attilas, but the 10 pitch at bat between Cook and Kevin Lambert really drew things out. Heck of a at bat for him. Doesn't have anything to show for it, unfortunately, as Sakopoulos gets off the bag quickly and feeds to Riggleman.
It's good coverage by Riggleman after that one almost went through the hole by Elijah Brown, but didn't have enough speed on it.
Here's Caruso now. Struck out looking back in the first. That was a part of 2 strikeouts in a row from Riggleman. He ended up striking out the side, kind of your funky way to do it, I guess. A run given up, a hit batter, and then a double, but was able to strand those pair of runners in the end. First pitch curveball to Caruso is low, 1-0.
Caruso had a nice play behind the plate to end the inning on a drop third strike.
1-0, fastball zinged to center. Galassi under that one, seeing it carry underneath the flagpole as he makes the catch over the shoulder.
It's another good swing there from Caruso, unfortunately. Again, another good fielder out there to make the play.
Yeah, if that thing was moving at all, that may have been out of here over the head of Drew Galassi, but uses his speed to track it down. Now 2 up and 2 down, and quietly 6 straight retired here by number 14 on the mound. Brian Leaf struck out back in the first. Takes a first pitch fastball outside at 88. It's kind of been a consistent 88, 89 for Riggleman here today. It's gotten up to 90 this year.
Was good location on that last fastball.
Popped him up. Sakopoulos calling everybody off, and he will make the 2 outs here in the 3rd inning as they go 1-2-3. That's your 5th third out of the game, brought to you by 5th Third Bank here today. Back-to-back 1-2-3 innings for Riggleman here today. Now time for JJ the Water Boy, presented by Michigan First Credit Union. Water coming out to your base pass umpire here today. JJ will get a nice treat as well. It was certainly hot and muggy earlier. That would have come.
Gotta be refreshing.
The rain has cooled things off a bit, just over 70 degrees here at game time. But now down to Chelsea Cooper.
We're hustling today. All right, buddy, I'm here with Sam, and he's going to face off against Lancelot. Lancelot's a little tired today, so Sam, I think you got this. You ready, buddy? All right, you run around those bases, and I'm going to meet you at home, all right? On your mark, get set, go! All right. Sam is super fast, as you can tell. Lancelot, you got to catch up. Oh, man, Sam is hustling. He's already at third. Guys, make some noise. He's rounded third. He's coming home. Sam, you got the whole crowd. Oh, no, you lost your hat, bud. We got you. Don't worry. Oh, you're safe. Nice job. We'll get your hat, too.
Well, there you go. Your DTE Energy Kid Race, the mascot. Houston Parker, Connor Bagneski, and Greg Vaughn Jr. Actually, no, that is the Mammoths next due up, which doesn't matter a whole much right now. But it's Hodo, Drew Galassi, and Malik Bolin to bat here in the 3rd against Adrian Cook. Besides getting the pitch count up a bit here in the 2nd, it still looks sharp today. 3 strikeouts, a strikeout to Castro, Sakopoulos, and Parkinson thus far. I'll remind you can chime in with us on the chat sections of Facebook and YouTube. Sarah says, go Unicorns here today. Try to check our Facebook feed as well here. Jason Kirkman has chimed in, but that's about it. We want more interaction from you here at home on a Friday. Glad you could tune in and join us. Maybe you'll join us tomorrow in person or on the air. We'll be on the air at 5:15 for our little pregame show before the Home Run Derby and the All-Star game to follow as well.
Should be exciting tomorrow.
And we talked about it. Nearly this whole lineup, at least today, for this Utica team is in the All-Star game tomorrow.
Including 3 pitchers.
So on the position player side of things, you have Drew Galassi, Leandy Castro, Matt Parkinson,
Kevin Lambert.
Yep. Malik Bolin as well, John Hodo, Noah Childress, Ari Sikopoulos. 0-1 is inside, so they kind of ditched the East-West format and went to the 2 captains as we discussed before. So that's why you have unicorns on different teams, obviously. Now the 1-1, swing and a miss. A slider by John Hodo.
And for the Mammoths, the position players that are going to be featured in tomorrow's All-Star game are Nick Caruso, Houston Parker, Tanner Thomas, and Buddy Dwayne Jr.
Here's a 1-2, slider, shot into left. Just the second hit given up by Adrian Cook today.
Good shot there to left field. Then 2 players that are on the reserves list for the position players are Wade Weinberger Jr. and Duncan Hewitt, also making the All-Star game.
So here's Drew Galassi now. He grounded out back in the first inning. That was to the second baseman, Perez. Hodo in motion. Decent pitch to throw on, but he threw it to the left of Buddy Dwayne, as John Hodo is now 4 for 4 on steals this year.
It's definitely got some wheels in the bottom part of that unicorn lineup. It's right where Jim Estienne wants him to.
He's settled in quite nicely to the 9-hole this year.
It's a good strategy to have some veteran player make a seamless transition right to the start of the lineup.
3rd year in the USPBL for John Hodo. Has obviously played a big part in the last couple championships in that specific game as well. Unicorns have gotten that automatic bye to the championship the last 2 years. Looking for their 4th straight title in the USPBL as Drew Galassi looks at a ball outside. The fastball there.
They're off to a good start this year, 13-4 coming into this game.
Infield kind of shifted to the right on Galassi as he draws a free pass on 4 pitches. That's the second walk today surrendered by Adrian Cook, and now trouble brewing here in the 3rd as 2-3-4 unfolding to the plate. Bolin, Castro, Sikopoulos. Bolin in that group the only man to reach so far today. More of a cloud cover kind of going left to right over the stadium right now. Hopefully they're not rain clouds here today. There was none in the hour by hour before we started. I will say, though, that rain lasted a bit longer than we expected earlier even. Thought it'd just be a passing shower. Here's the first pitch to Bolin. Slider finds the strike zone for strike 1.
Some puddles still left over from those rain clouds on the field.
Yeah, mostly very deep in foul territory for those. Outfielders playing deep against Bolin. The 0-1 in on the hands. That's the same kind of pitch where he got a blooping single on over the first baseman's head, Brown, as he kind of corkscrewed his way to the outfield. Third inning today brought to you by Scott's. We thank Scott's for sponsoring our grounds crew here at the USPBL.
There's one of those puddles out there on left field foul territory.
0-2, fastball away, held there by Caruso, hoping for strike 3. And I think certainly Adrian Cook was looking for that as well, with the 2 batters reaching to start this third inning. Hodo going to third, slider, and Bolin looked at it all the way. So 2 stolen bases here by John Hodo. Now relieves runners on first and third. And he's now 5 for 5 on the year. No contest on that one. Colossi with a short lead at first. The 2-2 chased it. Good slider, got him hacking.
It's a good tailing break at the end on that slider from Adrian Cook. Gets the first out of the inning.
And an even bigger strikeout there for Cook, his 4th already. He had 2 back in the first, a single one in the second, and 1 now here in the third. Slight breeze starting to pick up. You can really see it in the trees, more so than the flags, as that fastball rains low, 1-0. Jeremy Otto alongside Nick Matthews to bring you the call here today. So good he could tune in on the USPBL network. Back on the air tomorrow. Only 2 games publicly this week. The All-Star Game and the Home Run Derby. Starting at 5:30 tomorrow on Saturday. Fly ball to center. Perez calling everybody out. Tanner Thomas lost his hat. The center fielder there, and Perez will catch out number 2 here in the third.
It's a good call by Perez to call off Tanner Thomas, who is playing really deep on Leandy Castro. Not sure if he would have made that play, and saves a run.
So Adrian Cook trying to breathe off of the start here in the first. A single by Hodo. He's stolen 2 bases, and the walk by Drew Galassi. Bolin has since struck out. The latest pop out there by Castro. Has to retire a good hitter, though. 1 pitch can turn this game around. First pitch to Sakopoulos. Bounced in. Look out. Hodo running from third on first. Moving. And he got there. 1-1 here in the third.
Drew Galassi also on the move. Moving up to second base on that pass ball.
Well, no doubt, John Hodo made that play all the way around, and that run happened with his legs. If he didn't steal those 2 bases, who knows what would have happened. Obviously, he would have at least made it to second off the walk by Galassi, but still, nice job here by John Hodo. 1-0 to Sakopoulos. Fastball that tails away. 2-0 now on Ari. They shift him to pull. The left fielder, Bagneski, way off the line. He's basically in left center there, as you see.
Leaving a wide open hole between the shortstop and third baseman.
His 7 home runs and 3 doubles has surmounted to a really nice slugging of .672 so far this year.
Some crazy numbers.
Waiting on the 3-1. High and away, and all of a sudden now runners on first and second again. The second walk of the inning and the third of the game for Cook. Didn't really see this coming after the snappy ways out of the second. Certainly the longer pitch counts may have said something, but still. Cook coming off his best start as well. What he had done in the first two. He does strike out his fourth batter here in the third, walks his second, and now a long walk for Taylor Jellikowski here. So just trying to buy some time for his pitcher. Not really a tactical move in terms of looking to kill some time for your bullpen because there's nobody warming up right now. A lot of these guys have already gotten work as well, so they probably wouldn't mind to see Cook go 5 at least now. I mean, they probably could have even seen 6 tonight if he was on point, but the pitch count probably won't allow him to get there. Already at 62 here today. We've not seen anyone really go over 80, 85 thus far. First pitch to Noah Childress, skipping by Caruso, and now both Galassi and Sikopoulos will advance.
Definitely not what the doctor ordered here for Adrian Cook.
Well, the offense hasn't been very fancy for the Unicorns here in the third, but now a couple more runners in scoring position. It started with the leadoff single by Hodo. He immediately stole second base, ended up stealing third a few batters later. He scored off a pass ball, and here we are again with a couple walks. The 1-0 popped him up. Center of the diamond. Cook staring at it. He's not going to take it, though. Perez, from his spot at second base, will drift in for out number 3. Longer inning, certainly, than Cook would have hoped. 6 come to the plate. Paul Nochi will join us when we get back here on the USPBL Network.
Companies are competing for talent like never before. With the complexities of handling tasks like payroll, benefits administration, and other HR functions, it's easy to see how a professional employer organization like Tryon Solutions makes all the difference. Tryon empowers businesses of all sizes to attract and retain talent by offering access to top-tier healthcare and employee benefit plans. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
We joined GreenPath and instantly felt a support around us.
They developed a plan on paper, and this is how we're going to do it.
The plan that they gave me was something that was sustainable. It was something I could do. It was actually lowering my payments monthly by hundreds of dollars.
Choosing GreenPath is a no-brainer.
Great seats at a great price. Get them safer, simpler, and smarter with Ticket Smarter. A proud partner to the biggest names in live sports and events, including ESPN events and iHeartRadio. Ticket Smarter has seats for over 125,000 live events and 48 million tickets for sale. All backed with the Ticket Smarter 100% ticket guarantee. Thinking about your next great live event? Think smarter. Think Ticket Smarter. Get your tickets your way, guaranteed, at Ticketsmarter.com.
Welcome back to Jimmy John's Field. Well, that's become a nice hat for that fan down there. Looks like the popcorn bin has broken as well, so hopefully didn't lose too many of those, but the fans finding unique ways to make their own hats here today as well. Paul Nochi now joins us in the booth, the newly appointed field coordinator here at the USPBL as well, and basically that means what for the average person?
Pretty much means that I'm in charge of the development, practice, evaluations, just player development. Yeah, it's fun.
You've been a head coach or a manager for a long time, so kind of a different role, but maybe one you relish at this point?
Yeah, 26 years as a head coach or manager, and this gives me a little break. Actually, I don't have to worry about whether I won or lost.
Right.
Although, at the USPBL, it's not about winning or losing, although you certainly play to win. But still, you're competitive and you want to win, even though our main goal is to move players.
That one hits Houston Parker's second time he's been hit here today. That starts off the fourth for Riggleman, and that breaks what it was a 7 straight retired streak. Couple 1, 2, 3 innings in a row here in the second and third. And yeah, that's something maybe the average fan doesn't know. These guys obviously work out and practice when they're not playing most days, right?
Yeah, Tuesday through Saturday we practice. Mondays are off, of course, and then Sundays usually a day game, so we don't practice. But yeah, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday we practice right here on deck next door, that indoor facility, and then on Fridays and Saturdays are normally at one of the local high schools. So it works out really well. They get a lot of work in, and not too much, but enough to keep them sharp and to work on some problems they may have or this and that. So
well, we've already seen one player move on to the major leagues. We now have 3 overall. Randy Dobnak, of course, the first, another joining the party just a couple weeks ago, but Logan Gillespie, a guy that you coached for the Hoppers back in the day. I guess how have you seen him grow to what he is now, kind of in and out of AAA in the major leagues?
Well, we knew he had good stuff when he was here, actually. I signed him out of the California Winter League. I think, was it 18 or 19? I want to say it was, was it 18?
More like 18, I think,
I think it was 18. And he was a guy that was like really good delivery. He had good velo. And I could not believe that like a Frontier League or even association guys at the California Winter League didn't offer him.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wow. So I offered him thinking that I would probably lose him, and I didn't. And then when he got here, Justin really liked him, liked his delivery. Kind of had a Tom Seaver type of delivery, and he could throw all 3 pitches for a strike, and he was 94. You know, he sat 92 to 94, and the Brewers took him. Signed him about halfway through, I want to say, and he worked his way, I think, up to high A with the Brewers, and then he tripped in the dugout in A-ball, going down some stairs, and tore a cartilage or something in his knee, and then they released him.
Wow.
And then the Orioles picked him back up.
Tillis Tohoto to Sakopoulos, and that will be a quick double play. Well, this is what always happens when you have guys. You have another half inning in you here?
Oh, yeah.
Back with Paul Nochi after this here on the USPBL Network.
There are many things you can rely on in this world, like a sunny day brightening your mood, your mom baking the world's best apple pie, and never a dull moment in running your business. And when it comes to time-consuming HR tasks, you can rely on Tryon. Tryon can handle payroll and taxes, employee benefits, and more, so you can stay focused on attracting and retaining the best talent. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Throughout your life, from big moments to ones well earned, we're your financial guardian angel. Alliance Catholic Credit Union.
Donovan Thacker takes over for Adrian Cook here in the 4th inning. Thacker with his 6th appearance. He's made a couple starts, just 6 2/3 of innings on the mound, though he was making one start and kind of grabbed his side and has rehabbed his way back to this point after about a month on the shelf. So good to see him back in. He'll face 6, 7, 8 in this lineup for the Unicorns as we continue our conversation as well with Paul Noce, the field coordinator here at the USPBL, manager of the Eastside Diamond Hoppers just last year as well. What was it, a 4 or 5 year run for you there?
6.
6, okay.
Since the beginning,
Yep.
yeah. It's been a blessing to be here. It's been a lot of fun and glad to be a part of it.
4th inning brought to you by Pepsi here today. We thank Pepsi for their sponsorship with the USPBL network. So Cook goes 3. Things kind of unraveled for him in the 3rd after walking a couple batters there. John Hodo able to score the tying run. Adrian Cook, obviously a guy you had last year, moved on and now is back, but a guy that has good stuff, definitely.
Yeah, yep. High velo guy. Although he's pitching more at like 90 this year. Last year he was 92 to 94.
That one thrown away as Lambert has the chance to go to second. He will camp out there to begin the 4th inning.
Yeah, bad throw. Got a little bit too much on it. But Adrian, he went to Southern Maryland in the Atlantic League in September after we were done last year, and then the Mexican League, the Major League Mexican League came after him and signed him, but he didn't pitch much, so he called me and said, hey, I'm not pitching much. He pitched like 3 innings, and he thought he was going to get released, and he wanted to come back. I said, absolutely, let's bring you back here. And so he's back, trying to get back into form.
Shot to Parker. He will move over to first and keep Lambert at second. Definitely his last start. I mean, in that doubleheader through 4 innings and very little contact and a good amount of Ks for Adrian Cook. So looking up, but today maybe hit a little bit of a roadblock here. The Mammoths wanting to get a look at Thacker as well. As we mentioned, haven't seen him a whole lot so far this year with the injury earlier. Matt Parkinson comes up now. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. That was a part of a 4-batter inning for Cook where he just walked 1. Thacker looks home to Parkinson as that hit him, our 3rd batter we've seen hit today. Not a lot of hard ones, though. Just kind of in on the jersey, in on the elbow type area.
Yeah, change up. Kind of went glove side on him a little bit. A few of these guys, they don't make an effort to get out of the way. They kind of, they stick their elbow out a little bit at times, and I don't really like that personally. But they were taught that in college. That's college junk. That you want to hit.
Sure.
But it's a hard habit to break once they drill it in college. It's kind of hard to break that habit.
Here's a look at Jim Essien down at third base. I mean, ever since the USPBL has originated, I think that's the impressive part about the coaching side. Obviously, you've had time in the major leagues. Jim has even managed in the major leagues along with his playing experience. Von Joshua has some deep experience on the coaching and playing side as Perez will collect out number 2 in the 4th. But that's why player development can be such a big thing, right, because of all the experience.
Yeah. Yeah, a guy like Jim Essien and Von Joshua, who have been in the game as long as they have, especially Von actually, who's coached a long time in the big leagues and the minor leagues. You see a lot of baseball, and Jim's got an eye for talent. Besides being a great manager, his specialty is he really recruits hard during the winter. A lot of people don't know, but he's on the phone constantly. I'm more out on the field during the winter in winter leagues and signing players, but he's in contact with all the college players through his network, and so he has done a tremendous job as also like kind of the scouting director / manager.
And certainly not only gets guys for his team, but able to spread it around the league as well when the need arises.
Yeah, we're one big team, really. So we want to make sure that there's parity, and even though the Unicorns have really, jumped out to a big start, but the idea is to make sure that everybody's solid.
How about one more couple outs in the next half inning? We've had some quick
Sure.
half innings here.
Yeah.
Paul Nochi will be back after this on the USPBL Network.
As your neighbor who works at Ascension, Michigan, and a cardiologist who's practiced for more than 20 years, I'm going to keep asking, how are you feeling today? Your care can't wait. Getting care sooner can mean catching things before they get worse. At Ascension, Michigan, our ERs and our hospitals and other sites of care are maintaining strict precautions for your safety. Studies have shown that people will get care sooner if they're encouraged by their doctors, family, and friends. Get the care you need at getascensionmichigancare.com.
Jimmy John's Field is the perfect venue for birthday parties, summer picnics, company outings, and provides the best entertainment in Metro Detroit with great baseball all summer long. Spend your summer nights under the lights at Jimmy John's Field in historic downtown Utica.
Adam Riggleman out for his 5th inning of work here tonight. Tanner Thomas, Christian Perez, and Buddy Dwayne will be the 3 he faces. After the leadoff hit by pitch, was able to get a double play to end the top of the 4th. He looks pretty good today.
Yeah, he's really settled in. There was a home run in, was it a leadoff home run or?
Yep, leadoff home run.
Besides that, he's pretty much shut him down.
He had a streak of 7 straight outs between the first and the last out of the 3rd as well. Struck out 3 in the first, but all his outs since have been via the contact. So Tanner Thomas gets his 2nd at bat today. Popped out to the center fielder Drew Colossi back in the 2nd. Still chatting with Paul Nochi, the field coordinator here at the USPBL. Was the manager of the Hoppers ever since their beginning here, as well as this one tipped into the glove. Ryan Kotke and John Dombrowski, 2 other guys who we really haven't mentioned, have taken over the reins there, do a really nice job.
Yep, they're doing a good job. I'm glad to see it. I still root for the Hoppers. A lot of those players are my guys, so I still try not to make it too obvious, but I hope they do well. And Ryan and Diesel are doing a good job with them. They're coming along too right now, and they had a rough start, but made some changes. Just like everybody, you kind of see what you got to do and what changes you need to make, and they've added some pretty good bats to their lineup. They probably got the best pitchers in the league total, I think.
They have the tallest roster of pitchers. We know that, right?
Yeah. We do have a lot of height this year overall.
We do. Yeah, you thought, oh boy, A.J. Coleman's leaving. There's your height, but no.
Yeah, A.J.'s overthrowing for the Chicago Dogs for Butch Hobson over in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's doing okay. I checked up on him a few weeks ago, and I think he's holding his own.
Yeah, spent a couple years here in the USPBL. Did A.J. Coleman out of University of Cincinnati as well.
Yeah, he got picked up. Butch picked him up on a tournament team that I put together in March that we played in Florida, and it was a bunch of USPBL guys that I asked to come play, and so he was able to get in front of Butch and a few other Indy League managers since his time was worn out here with the 2-year limit. And Butch liked him and took him.
Here's the 0-1 to Perez as he fouls that one off. 0-2 quickly here on Christian. Well, kind of the interesting thing about this year is the draft being later than it ever was. And there's a few draft-eligible players playing right now, but you never really know what's going to happen with the affiliate shrunk. I guess what does scouting look like right now?
Well, as far as our league or just overall?
Yeah, just overall.
It's shrunk for sure. The whole scouting system is totally different than what it used to be. Now it's all analytics. They hardly even watch players. It's all just computerized spreadsheets, a lot of it. They cross-check them, the guys. But with 20 rounds, if they're not putting you through tests and all that kind of stuff, you're not going to get drafted,
right.
And we may have one here who has a chance to be drafted, but if not, has a pretty good chance that he'll be signed as a free agent. So either way, he'll be happy.
Now the 2-0 to Dwayne in there for strike one, which in the past really wasn't a thing, right? Because there weren't those opportunities because those guys would get drafted anyway. They wouldn't necessarily come to indie ball. But
right, a lot of them, they were already drafted because it used to be in June.
Sure.
And so they weren't here yet. Or we would wait till after the draft before we brought them in once they found out they weren't drafted. Now it's a whole different ballgame. A lot of them are just waiting to see if they can get drafted instead of, come here and play, and then you can show them even more what you can do at a little bit higher level, and you're still draft eligible even though you're here.
Sure.
So it's we have to adjust to that, and I think the players in the future will adjust to that too.
Now the 2-2 on the ground to Attilis. He will boot it though, and safe at first base is buddy Dwayne.
That's rare. He's solid defensively.
He's done a really nice job since coming here. Didn't even look like there was a funky hop or anything.
No, he just tried to be a little too quick.
So now back to the top of the order here in Elijah Brown. Elijah today had that aforementioned leadoff home run in the first, and the 3-run ground ball over to first as well. Or home run to right, I should say, not to first base. That, thus far, has been the only run for the Mammoths. The only run for the Unicorns scored on the pass ball to home plate. John Hodo stealing a couple bases and making his way around third to home. Short lead for Dwayne at first. No pickoff over there. A pickoff right on the bag as they'll gun him out as well. How about Adam Riggleman today? He's faced the minimum in now 4 straight innings. Pop-out, strikeout, and then the pickoff to end the third. Well, Paul Noshi, thanks so much for coming on here today. Good
Thanks
to
for
see
having
you.
me. Appreciate it. Anytime.
Look forward to seeing you around the park as always. Back with more after this here on the USPBL Network.
Dunham Sports is a proud partner of the USPBL. Big names, low prices, delivering value since 1937.
At Fifth Third Bank, we're working hard to make banking a Fifth Third better, which means we put 166.7% into everything we do.
I think you can only give 110%.
Well, with free checking, fraud protection services, and an automatic savings tool to help you quickly reach your goals, 166.7% is possible.
Oh, wait till my 8th graders hear about this. They're going to be like, it's not possible. Well, yes it is.
This is banking, a Fifth Third better.
Jeremy Otto and Nick Matthews back with you here on the USPBL Network. So glad you could tune in on the All-Star Game Eve here today. Friday, Saturday, the only 2 public games in the USPBL this week as we see Donovan Thacker work his 2nd inning here tonight. How about Riggleman, though, through 5 innings? He's looked sharp.
Absolutely. He's been looking after the first inning, the only blemish of the home run, like we've mentioned, and then getting the runners on second and third. After that, it's just been cruising, smooth sailing for him. Getting help from his defense and double plays.
Hayden Wiesa chiming in from Howell today. We thank Hayden for joining us here today. You can comment and tell us where you're watching from. Maybe any questions you have for us about the league on the chat section on Facebook and YouTube. Also want to thank My Michigan TV for their sponsorship of the pregame show. If you're at the ballpark, you can now see the first half of our pregame. So it airs both on the USPBL network here on Facebook and YouTube and inside the ballpark as well. We thank My Michigan TV for making that possible. First pitch to Malik Bolin. Fastball at 87 in for strike one. Bolin today a single in the first, just a blooper down the first base line, and a strikeout swinging against Cook. 0-1, little chopper over to Dwayne, loses something.
It's like his sunglasses, but still makes the play.
Maybe we'll just stow those away at this point. The sun subsiding behind the ballpark. The lights have been on for at least the last hour. It's been a pretty cloudy day. It was a little bit more sunny to start. Then the rain came in. Rain for about an hour between 5 and 6. They put the tarp back on after they had done all the work to get BP on the field. It only lasted a couple rounds for the Unicorns, and they said, oh, we got to get that thing back out there.
Kind of feel bad for them.
Yeah. All the analytics interns, baseball operations, the grounds crew work very hard to make those day-to-day operations possible. Now the 0-1, swing and a miss. Fastball at 87 there. Castro trying to break his 0 for 2, a pop out and a strikeout. Slider away. Thacker, the native of Livonia, attended Madonna University, 6'3", 190-pound righty. Getting ready to turn 25 at the end of the month. July 30th, his birthday. Second year in the USPBL, made 13 appearances last year. 2-2, swing and a miss.
It's a good change of elevation there for Thacker, getting that strikeout.
That one looked like the changeup. Fastball, slider, change, curveball. Curveball, something he worked on quite a bit in the offseason. Haven't had the chance to see it much this year with that oblique strain. Fly ball to center field, trying to beat the shift here. Thomas, we'll see it punch in front. Bagneski also coming in. So that's interesting. We're starting to see a few more drastic shifts, at least in this game, on both Galassi and Sakopoulos. Childress, I think they were shifting a bit as well.
Sakopoulos beats that shift too.
A shift that you will probably see banned very soon in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, they were talking about that.
Maybe as soon as next year. First pitch to Childress, shot on the ground and through. Sakopoulos going from first to third. Vaughn Jr. will hit the cutoff man. And now something brewing all of a sudden here with 2 outs after the first 2 were retired here in the 5th.
It's good opposite field hitting from Noah Childress, and that was a good shot too. That was hot off the bat and to right field. And now Kevin Lambert has a chance to give them the lead.
97 miles an hour down the first base line there from Noah Childress, and here comes Kevin Lambert. He had the best at bats of the game. Not much to show for it back in the second. 10 pitches before he popped out against Adrian Cook. First and third with 2 outs. Slider in for strike 1. Well, every pitcher that's thrown today has a slider. It seems like most guys have a slider these days as that breaking ball.
So it's becoming a common trend.
0-1, another one. It's a good one as well. 0-2 on Lambert.
Years past, it's been the curveball mostly. Now it's kind of shifted towards that slider.
Righty and righty here in the 5th inning. Thacker trying to get out of it unscathed. The 0-2 popped him up foul. 5th inning today brought to you by Fifth Third Bank. We thank Fifth Third Bank for their partnership with the USPBL network. 8:35 Eastern time. We started at 7:05. Lambert playing third base here today. The 0-2. You wanted that slider for strike 3. He's out of our frame even.
Tanner Thomas out there in center field. Taking a squat out there. He wanted that one too.
What will he come back with here? Now the 1-2. Popped off the high screen and back down. We've had some close calls here today. Brendan and I were talking about on the air how we just don't get balls up here. But I don't know. That one was close as well. It has to be perfect, though, to land in this press box, which is pretty close and low.
Yeah, it has to be a perfect ball to get up here.
The 1-2 again. On the corner for strike 3. Fastball at 89 is second strikeout here in the 5th inning. Donovan Thacker is pitching a couple in relief of Adrian Cook. Still no runs plated.
There are many things you can rely on in this world, like a sunny day brightening your mood, your mom baking the world's best apple pie, and never a dull moment in running your business. And when it comes to time-consuming HR tasks, you can rely on Tryon. Tryon can handle payroll and taxes, employee benefits, and more, so you can stay focused on attracting and retaining the best talent. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
One thing that makes Detroit Mercy unique and different from other universities is that the faculty truly care about you and they're always there to help. Whether it's asking questions after class or going into the office hours, they're always there to lend a hand and really make you feel at home.
People are here to work together, and whether you have a question or you're discussing topics within the class, you can go up to your professor and they know your name. They're just willing to help you become a better overall student.
Detroit Mercy. Build a boundless future.
We're the financial champion of Michiganders. Whether you're a goal getter or dream chaser, an empty nester or up-and-comer, anyone in Michigan can bank with us. Michigan Schools and Government Credit Union.
Get great seats, safer, simpler, and smarter with TicketSmarter. Choose great seats from over 125,000 live events, all backed with a TicketSmarter 100% ticket guarantee. Get your tickets smarter at TicketSmarter.com.
Welcome back to Jimmy John's Field. Nick Matthews alongside Jeremy Otto. We still got a tie ball game, 1 apiece. Back on the mound is Adam Riggleman for the Utica Unicorns. He's pitching pretty solid through 5 so far. The only blemish today so far is the Elijah Brown solo shot back in the first, and due up is the man himself. Elijah Brown is the 1-2-3 hitters.
So here's Elijah Brown to lead off the 6th inning as Riggleman delivers a fastball low. Riggleman was facing Brown in the 5th before Dwayne Jr. tried to take second base. Or not take second base, but was drifting off of first. Good pickoff by Riggleman right on the bag. Didn't have a great lead, but still got him. Fly ball to right field, chasing Castro back towards the foul pole, and that one will hook foul.
It's a good hack again.
Those fans trying to chase after that ball on the berm out there. Got to look out as it dips pretty quickly on you down off the back and the right side there. Looks like somebody did get the ball.
It's very steep out there.
That one fouled back. It's definitely a shift of confidence, I think maybe is the right wording for Brown at the plate as he strikes out there. Another good slider in on the hands. And Riggleman just continues to deal here through 5 1/3 innings. Well, when it's time for baseball, it's time for beer. Two Hearted Ale has been named the #1 beer in America for the past 4 years by members of the American Homebrewers Association. Play ball with the best. Two Hearted Ale, the iconic American IPA from Bell's Brewery, Comstock, Michigan. Please drink responsibly. Here's the first pitch to Nick Caruso, swing and a miss. First pitch slider there.
Caruso had a hard hit ball to center field in his last at bat. If there's any wind out there, it might have carried out.
Yeah, there's just not much to speak of. It seems like the last couple weeks that's been the case. Pop this one up foul. And once in a while it'll be blowing pretty heavily in BP and warm-ups, but then die by the time game time happens. Now the 0-2 slider as Parkinson tried to hold it there, but no strike three call. It's been a consistent outside corner here today. Whether those are strikes or not, they really have not been called so far. 1-2, that one obvious for strike three. 2 up and 2 down, both via the K. This is the best that Adam Riggleman has looked thus far.
Certainly looks sharp so far. Records his 5th K of the day.
So he has faced the minimum in the last 3 innings. That was because of his pickoff in the last time he was out there in the 5th, as that fastball at 88 rises on Brian Leaf. He struck out in the 1st, popped out in the 3rd. Slider in for strike 2. Riggleman did strike out the side back in the 1st inning. That was his only longer inning. That had 6 batters and the only run of the ball game for the Mammoths. That bat shatters in half, and that ball still carries to right center field. My goodness, you just don't see that. Drew Galassi gliding to the gap. Half of the bat, if not more, ends up right in the hands of Lambert and company.
That's very rare to see that.
And Taylor Jellikowski, you can see his reaction as well. That was almost the prototypical bat dying as a hero. How about a home run off a broken bat? Not quite. It's the 3rd out here in the 6th.
Every summer, my family loves to have a neighborhood movie night in our backyard. And with my Chevy Blazer, I can head out and get everything we need for a great night. It has plenty of room for picking up friends, and the available hands-free liftgate is perfect for loading unhandy supplies. You know, it may be movie night, but my Blazer is the main attraction wherever I go.
Lease a 2022 Blazer 2LT for just $239 a month for 24 months. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
Make your move with a quick and easy mortgage from Genesis Credit Union. We have mortgages to fit your life. Genesis Credit Union. Visit us today.
What makes Detroit Mercy so unique is the fact that it's in the middle of Detroit, and especially with their service learning programs, you really get a chance to be a part of the community.
Detroit Mercy. Build a boundless future.
Well, we're going to speculate that Adam Riggleman's day is probably done, and it's more so based off the pitch count, 77. He really hasn't gotten to those heights, though, this far. But if his day is done, 6 strikeouts, no walks, he did hit a couple batters and gave up a home run, but it's been a very strong last 5 innings where he's faced the minimum in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. Donovan Thacker in relief of Adrian Cook, trying to settle down what's been kind of a active base pass for these Unicorns. Cook went 3. Thacker now tossing his 3rd inning here in the 6th. First pitch fastball at 87 outside. Louis Attilis had one of the 3 walks off Adrian Cook back in the 2nd inning. Was also hit by a pitch in the 4th by Thacker. Couple base runners in that inning. No hits, though, surrendered by Donovan. Now the 1-0. Shot to Dwayne at short. Nice charity hop to the face. This one stomped on off the leap by Brown to keep it in.
There's 2 sets of things that went on in that play. Buddy Dwayne had a great read off of that ball, knowing it's going to take a wicked hop over at his face, and then makes a kind of a high throw over to Elijah Brown, but Elijah being able to stomp on the bag on the landing.
I'm still trying to figure out how Brian Leaf shattered his bats. Nearly the whole shaft of the bat went down the third base line as Lambert picked it up in the end, and that baseball nearly traveled out of here to the right center field gap. I mean, maybe that just speaks to the strength of Leaf. I mean, we've seen some of his BPs.
He got a hold of that too.
Hasn't shown it so far in a game. He's yet to record an extra base hit in the USPBL, but we've talked about his power numbers in college. He hit 29 bombs his senior year. Well over 50 in a matter of basically 2 seasons. I mean, you mix in the COVID year where he had 6 as well, but I think he would have hit more if there were more games, as Thacker bobbled it, stayed with it as he loses his ball cap as well. 2 up and 2 down here in the 6th inning. But I said it, as soon as I just watched Leaf once in batting practice. Probably hasn't been here long enough to be in a competition like the Home Run Derby, but he would have been a fun one to watch.
Absolutely. The tremendous power like that, only leaving just the nub of the bat left. And the pieces of the heroic bat still out in the field. There's a quick flash of a smile from Thacker after that little bobble there. Still getting the out, though.
Here's the first pitch to John Hodo. Slider with a late dip in for strike 1. It's been a pretty effective slider so far here today for Thacker. Now the 0-1. Fastball tried to be pulled back in, but Caruso could not get the strike call. Hodo, once again, the bottom of the order here today. Single and a pop-out for John.
John, one of those 4 Utica players hitting above 280. For him himself, there's a good look at the grandstand.
Good crowd here tonight. Grandstands, patio spaces, the lawn all together. Going to come to a really nice figure. 2-1. Slider off the glove, 3-1. There is some action now in the Unicorns bullpen. Haven't seen a lot of action overall from either of these teams.
We might see the newcomer.
Shuttered back to Thacker. He lets Caruso take it, and it might have cost him. Do or die play all the way around, but an infield single here for Hodo.
It's good wheels by Hodo, but also a good effort by Nick Caruso coming from behind the dish to try to make that play. In hindsight, might be Thacker's ball to try to field it himself.
So Drew Galassi, the top of the order, looking to break his 0 for 2. Did have a walk back in the third. That was on 4 straight pitches. One of 2 walks in that third inning for Adrian Cook. Hodo with a short lead at first. Here's the first pitch to Galassi, banged off the leg. Jeremy Otto alongside Nick Matthews to bring you the call here tonight. So glad you could tune in on your Friday. Join us tomorrow as well. Home Run Derby and the All-Star Game. Pre-game show at 5:15. All-Star Game will directly follow the Home Run Derby. Hodo going again. He's 2 for 2 today. That might change. No, he does sneak in there. So he came into the game 3 for 3 on the year for steals. He's now 6 for 6.
Doubled his stolen base count. Matter of a game.
Now the 1-1. Slider away. So not a very active line score. 1 run off 5 hits and 1 error for the Unicorns. 1 run off 2 hits and an error for the Mammoths. Clutch hits just haven't been there thus far. Can Galassi change that with a strike and 2 outs? 2-1, big whiff and a miss at the 88-mile-an-hour fastball. And again, they're exaggeratingly shifting Galassi here. You see Perez playing short right field.
The left center field is wide open for Galassi as well.
We've already seen Ari Sakopoulos beat that very shift today. Just a fluttering ball to left center. The 2-2, ouch, hit it off his leg again.
It's going to be a bruise there tomorrow.
We'll buy him some extra time.
It's like a lot of arms in that bullpen over there for the Unicorns.
Yeah, everybody at least stretching, it looks like, down there.
Having a powwow out there.
Now the 2-2. Fly ball to right field. Kieran Vaughn Jr. back to the berm. It flies! The Unicorns have a lead.
There was a no-doubter off the bat of Drew Galassi finding one right over the heart of the plate and just taking it for a ride out to the berm out there in right field.
His third home run this year, and it's a huge one.
He absolutely missiled that ball.
You could just feel one hit like that here today might just do it. But we'll see if that opens up the floodgates for the offenses now. First pitch to Malik Bolin, fastball off the plate outside. Bolin single back in the first inning, otherwise 0 for 2. Now the 1-0. Fastball tailing away. Now there's some action in the Mammoths pen. I think they wanted Thacker to get through this inning at least. (2-0) high, 3-0 now. Not very urgent throwing though, so I think they're still hoping Donovan can see through the sixth. And out here will do it. Perez collecting out number 3. Big shot though by Drew Galassi to right field onto the berm. His third home run of the year gives the Unicorns a 3-1 lead.
Every summer, my family loves to have a neighborhood movie night in our backyard. And with my Chevy Blazer, I can head out and get everything we need for a great night. It has plenty of room for picking up friends, and the available hands-free liftgate is perfect for loading unhandy supplies. You know, it may be movie night, but my Blazer is the main attraction wherever I go.
Lease a 2022 Blazer 2LT for just $239 a month for 24 months. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
We build roads, bridges, wind farms, and pipelines, schools to skyscrapers. Our members create monuments. We operate. We're the operators and mechanics behind the advanced heavy machines that move Michigan forward. We maintain boilers and HVAC. Our members run the complex heating and cooling systems that we all depend on. Our training is second to none, and safety is our priority. We are Operating Engineers 324, and we keep Michigan running.
Get great seats, safer, simpler, and smarter with TicketSmarter. Choose great seats from over 125,000 live events, all backed with a TicketSmarter 100% ticket guarantee. Get your tickets smarter at Ticketsmarter.com.
Jimmy John's Field is the perfect venue for birthday parties, summer picnics, company outings, and provides the best entertainment in Metro Detroit with great baseball all summer long. Spend your summer nights under the lights at Jimmy John's Field in historic downtown Utica.
Shake it off here at the ballpark. Middle to late innings tradition. Here as we head to the top of the 7th. Houston Parker, Connor Bagneski, and Greg Vaughn Jr. to face the brand new arm here in the USPBL. First time he's been available. It's Calapietro, Austin, out of the University of Toledo.
Home of the Rockets.
Actually took a couple of years off of competitive baseball. COVID put a little bit of a wrench into that for him, obviously. 2019 was his last college season. The native of Maumee, Ohio, just outside of Toledo. Houston Parker, Connor Bagneski, Greg Vaughn Jr., the heart of this order, due up against him. Fastball, slider, changeup, the mix for Austin. Was staying sharp just in a men's league. There was a couple of USPBL connections down there. Nico Lolio, Corey Osborne as well, who got him hooked in. And after that, 5 days later, he was on his way up to the Detroit metro area here. 1-0, fastball at 89, low and in.
Parker been hit by pitch twice in this game.
Both those two guys that had played here before. Said, hey, look, you throw too hard, you look too good out in this men's league. Mostly 28, 30-year-old guys out there who can still play competitively pretty well. You need to play professional ball somewhere, and they got him that opportunity. That's not a good look for your home plate umpire here today. He got drilled on a ball that was just missed by Parkinson, obviously not on purpose. He checked right with him there after that to make sure he was okay. Maybe some of that for Parkinson, not really catching Calapietro much. Regardless of 3-0 count here on Parker, who's been hit twice himself. The pitch. Fastball in for strike one. 89, but seems a little bit more heavy than that, just from the naked eye. Decent spin on it. 3-1, stroke to center field. Galassi for out number one.
It's a good swing there by Houston Parker, just couldn't get enough of it. It's a good play over there by Drew Galassi.
What a finish it was for Adam Riggleman here today. The last 5 innings, he faced the minimum and only 2 base runners in that stretch. A hit by pitch, which he then later turned a double play behind him in the 4th. And then an error in the 5th. Was able to pick off Buddy Dwayne after reaching. But definitely after what could have been viewed as a rocky start, even though he really put it together nicely after the leadoff home run. Struck out Caruso and Leaf, then the hit by pitch and double. He struck out Vaughn Jr. And after that, he was dialed in, and then some.
Just needed to find it in his groove, and did he do that?
Change up away, 1-1 here on Connor Bagneski. Shot into the glove of Lamberts. Just a reactionary play for him for the second out.
Lambert was ready for that one.
We've kind of talked about the trend of sliders and how many guys use them now, and it seems like most guys who have one go fastball slider in terms of usage, but Calipitra likes his changeup, which we've heard, I feel like, from a lot of guys as well around the league. One of the harder ones to master. Kind of finding that right grip and getting it to do what you want.
Being able to locate it where you want, too.
A differential is kind of something you always hear guys working on. Kind of that perfect slot between 8 and 10 miles an hour. 1-0, fastball high, 2-0 now on Vaughn Jr. Strikeout and a ground out. That went 6-4-3 back in the 4th. Well, after spending most of this game tied, the Mammoths now find themselves down by 2. Big 2-run home run in the bottom of the 5th if you're just joining us now. Bottom of the 6th, I should say. So that's 1 run in the 1st for the Mammoths off the solo home run. 1 run in the 3rd. That was Hodo for the Unicorns, and 2 more in the 6th. But all the runs today, 2-1. Wow, he was kind of busting his way out, but it carried its way back in for strike 2.
And the Mammoths haven't recorded a hit since the 1st inning.
And just a couple base runners, but a hit by pitch and an error is it. Mid of the infield leaves a hole there as they're in their respective holes at second and short. 2-2 drops down to the side. Greg Vaughn Jr. having some trouble with this at-bat here. He's like, my goodness, he does that too? And he does every once in a while. He talked to me about it. He'll pull it out when guys start to foul off the fastball. Righty and righty, the 3-2. His best fastball tonight at 92. Chiseled off. So he's been anywhere from 88 to 92. 7th inning brought to you by Jarbcom Audio and Video Solutions. We thank them for their partnership here with the USPBL. 3-2 again from the side. Parkinson trying to pull it back in. It looked maybe like strike 3, and that was already a 3-2 pitch, so Vaughn Jr. will walk to first. Here's Tanner Thomas now. He's got a couple pop-outs today, one to center field and one to the second baseman, Hodo. First pitch to Thomas, high and away. Well, if Austin does make it out of here into affiliate ball, he's going to be quite the story, obviously. Dropping baseball and just going to a regular job. He had to quit his job to, kind of take a leap of faith up here again. Was working for a logistics company. Threw his first bullpen in professional ball just a couple days ago. Did not make it into a game in any of the non-publics that were played this week. Sometimes here in the USPBL, they like to use those non-publics as bullpen days for guys.
Give them their extra innings.
or even in games sometimes that are public. They give a guy an inning who's just looking to throw a pen, but in development on a league where winning doesn't matter as much. You heard Paul Nochi talk about it when he was on as a guest, the field coordinator here at the USPBL. Obviously, everybody wants to win at the end of the day, but it's also all about getting these guys out of here into the next level. Vaughn Jr. with a short lead at first. Thomas ahead in the count. Stays that way, but strike one. Outfield deep against Thomas. They've been deep against nearly everyone today. Everybody straight up with 2 outs and a runner on first. Now Tanner maybe trying to pick something out of his eye there. Very calm night in the end.
Pretty picturesque sunset out there too and left.
Still a bit of humidity out there. Broken bat on the ground to Hodo, scoops it up, throws to first, and that will be the 3rd out here in the 7th inning. Really nice professional debut from Calipetro there. And that will end the 7th inning after the walk by Greg Vaughn Jr. Well, now time for your 7th inning stretch. Brought to you by Genesis Credit Union here today. Time for Take Me Out to the Ball Game one more time on the USPBL Network. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I never get back, for it's root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. 7th inning stretch brought to you by Genesis Credit Union here today. Back with more after this here on the USPBL Network.
You hear about the promo that Jimmy's John's got going on? 5 off 20? How they pulling it off? Magic?
You got David's Copperfields in there? Show yourself, Copperfields!
Jimmy John's. $5 off orders of 20 or more.
Slide into a new home. Work with a local mortgage pro who works for you. Get a cheaper, faster, easier home loan. Find a mortgage broker near you today at findamortgagebroker.com.
Another pitching change on the mound here for the Westside Woolly Mammoths. It's Freeman here in inning number 7. He'll face 3, 4, 5, trying to keep this game right where it is all of a sudden.
Emil Freeman out of Chicago, Illinois.
He was the guy that came in right around the college showcase time when a lot of moves were made here in the USPBL. Of course, we just saw another one of our newcomers. Harrison Aiken and Nick Cardinal were released at the start of this week. 2 pitchers who had been here for a minute. Cardinal since the beginning of the year. Aiken since about a month in, the knuckleballer. First pitch to Castro, buzzes him up top. Freeman, a converted right fielder. This year his first year pitching full-time. Did not even pitch in high school. 1-0 fastball high. So the USPBL has a couple converted arms as we speak and a couple for this Mammoths team. Rafi Vasquez the other. The 2-0. Fastball away. 3-0 now. This only the third appearance for Freeman this year, as he carries Castro back for strike one, nipped on the corners. A lot of these pitchers here today have really tried to bury that fastball inside. Freeman walking 6, striking out just 2, pitching 2 complete innings thus far. 3-1, another one that Castro won't love. 3-2 now. He's already struck out twice today. The first for Cook and the first for Thacker, who went 3 complete. Both of them did. Full count pitch, trying to come all the way back from a 3-0 as that's nicked foul.
Good check swing.
Coming up on 2 hours and 5 minutes in this one, in a game that's limited by a 2.5 hour time limit. 3-2 in on the hands and chopped foul.
Castro had a difficulty time locating that. See our fans enjoying the lawn out there, rolling around on the grass.
That was Atkins warming up as well. Full count again, outside. So Castro went 3-0, then worked it back 3-2, fouled off a couple, and we have a leadoff walk here in the 7th as this Unicorns team looks to add to the lead.
Dangerous hitter at the plate here. But Freeman's got a face with a man on and nobody out.
He's capable of hitting it right where Drew Galassi did to make the difference in this game thus far. That back in the 6th. First pitch to Ari. Changeup on the inner half, 1-0. Fastball, slurve, changeup for Neil Freeman. The native of Rockford and the upper Chicago area. 1-1 on Sikopoulos now. Freeman, obviously a guy that's got to be pretty open to changes, and this is a pitching league that can really develop arms because of the delivery value system that we like to talk about as well. Kind of looks at your delivery, maximizes potential on the velo, and minimizes injury risk. Here's the 1-2. Fly ball to center. Thomas under it. Couple more jogging steps in for out number 1. Very early on, Freeman has been open to those tweaks. And if you're a guy that obviously needs to work on it, and a converted arm in his first year fully pitching, that is going to make the difference, whether you stick around, because obviously the results aren't going to be there the way you exactly want them right away. I mean, let's face it, you've never pitched at a level like this, let alone in college.
Or even high school.
Yeah, so you're going to have your bumps in the road early on. Freeman certainly had those, but if you listen and kind of make those changes and bring them subtly into a game, that's going to make a big difference to show progress overall as Childress swings through it. And certainly in our conversations with Shane McCaddy and Mitch Aker over the course of the year, it's the guys that show their progress. And progress doesn't always mean you're striking out more batters than you're walking. If you're showing that you're making those tweaks and getting towards the ultimate goal of hammering down your delivery, as Parker will charge this one, his only play to first, it's a good one for the second out, then they're more likely to have you stick around and continue to work with you. So, let's face it, it is only a 4-team league, but there's a lot of guys that, the 2 main pitching guys have to float around to and, give their time and instruction to.
It's a good sure-handed play over there by Houston Parker.
Now Kevin Lambert, he reached on an error back in the 4th, also struck out in the 5th and popped out in the 2nd. That pop out, though, after a 10-pitch at bat versus Adrian Cook. And you wonder whether that was kind of the moment where things begun to swing for Cook, because he looked pretty sharp through 2 innings, just a couple base runners, a single and a walk, and then obviously a 6-batter third, which did him in on the pitch count end of things. Castro leaning off the bag at second, the 1-0. Slurve that's in the dirt. 2-0 now on Lambert. It's a Slurve with above average spin for USPBL ball at least. Right around where Cook was earlier, and Riggleman as well. They had some sharp sliders. Now the 2-0. Swing and a miss. Fastball at 88.
Big cut.
Now the 2-1. Slipped off the end of the bat. Freeman also spent a little bit of time in the Frontier League, one of the better independents around, for Empire State. That was just one appearance. A league like that probably less likely to try to work with you. They're more focused on winning and getting the best players they can and that are going to contribute to wins and championships in the end. See a lot of AA, AAA guys float around those other independents as well. Here's the 2-2. High. 3-2. That also factors in kind of the age limit here in the USPBL, which is being fudged a little bit for Eric Sandness of the Beavers just because of circumstance for him, but USPBL not necessarily bringing in those guys who are AA or AAA in the past, as Dwayne fires over to first. And after the leadoff walk, a good job by Freeman. Fly out, ground out here in the 7th inning on the USPBL network.
As your neighbor who works at Ascension, Michigan, and a cardiologist who's practiced for more than 20 years, I'm going to keep asking, how are you feeling today? Your care can't wait. Getting care sooner can mean catching things before they get worse. At Ascension, Michigan, our ERs and our hospitals and other sites of care are maintaining strict precautions for your safety. Studies have shown that people will get care sooner if they're encouraged by their doctors, family, and friends. Get the care you need at getascensionmichigancare.com.
First State Bank is a locally owned and operated business. We're part of your community. At fsbcares.com, you'll find ways that we're making a difference by featuring locally owned and operated businesses, providing access to helpful financial resources, and engaging with community. FSBcares.com is part of our commitment to the neighborhood, because strong neighbors mean stronger communities. Where good neighbors do great things. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Here's Perry Bewley, the native of Chardon, Ohio. He relieves Calipetro, who looked good in his 1-inning of work in the 7th. His professional debut, got some weak contact, walked Greg Vaughn Jr. on a 3-2 pitch, but other than that, just faced 4 batters and showed some decent velocity as well. Oh, check your standings, brought to you by Scott's, as always this year. This is the final game of the first half, with tomorrow obviously not counting towards the standings as the All-Star game and the Home Run Derby. But this Unicorns team, by far the best in the USPBL. It's been that way the last few years, certainly. 12-2, their overall record. The Beavers and the Hoppers trying to edge for that second spot, but really the Mammoths not too far away either.
It's been a very tight race this entire first half of the season. Obviously, the Unicorns been dominating at a we believe is a 13-4 record, and then the Beavers and the Hoppers both duking it out for second place. And then the Woolly Mammoths aren't too far behind. They've been playing some solid baseball, but just have had rotten luck with these sudden death.
Yeah, the
extra innings.
Sudden death, no doubt, has not played in favor to them, especially against the Hoppers. What an effort it was by Mike DeSanti the other day. Came on in what could have been the last inning, but the game still tied. Ended up pitching 2 innings and striking out 3. The line is a bit deceiving because he walked 2, but that was 2 intentional walks in a row, which is also something we saw last week in sudden death as well. 0-1 to Christian Perez. He's 0 for 2 today with a flyout and a strikeout. The pitch on the ground to Hodo. Rolls up his arm a bit, hangs with it though for the first out. Perry Bewley, fastball, changeup, slider. And fastball has been all the way up to 92 so far this year. He's averaged more 90. Good look at the sunset here today. Little red, orangey red mixed in the sky. Definitely get some nice sunsets here at the ballpark. First pitch slider whittled off there by Dwayne. He's 0 for 2 today. Did reach in on an error back in the 5th inning to the shortstop Patilis, but was picked off right away. That's one of the more impressive pickoffs we've seen this year from Riggleman. And again, he wasn't very far off the bag, but Riggleman fired it right on the bag. Good simple tag, sweeping down by Sakopoulos. And not one of the last innings for Riggleman. He did go 6 today, striking out 6, not walking a batter. Here's a 1-1 to Buddy. Chopped fouled on the third base line. Let's recheck that Unicorns defense, brought to you by 3-Dimensional Services Group. It's Parkinson behind the dish. Sakopoulos at first, Lambert at third, Hodo and Attilis up the middle. Here's a 1-2. Slider over the head of Sakopoulos and right. Tailing away from Castro as well. Allows Buddy Dwayne to take a long turn. The throw comes in and out of the glove of Attilis.
It's a good challenge there by Buddy Dwayne, testing Leandy Castro's arm out there in right field, and he saw it out of the box. He's like, I'm going to challenge this guy. He was heading towards the corner, and he had a good opportunity to get to second base, and he took it.
And just taking that outside pitch and depositing it to right field. It just kind of tailed away from Castro. And now that brings up the top of the order. Good time for the Mammoths to get right back in this game here in the 8th. This man already has a home run. Hit another deep foul ball to the right of the foul pole. Home run distance. It's just a different look off his bat these days.
He certainly made an adjustment, and it's working for him, especially in terms of power.
Looks like he's choking up on the bat a bit less. Still the knob a little bit more visible as this went in for strike 1. Choking up was something he did very early on in his career, then kind of ditched it in college, but went back to it after he was striking out a bit too much to his liking. Here's the even pitch. Fastball high at 92.
Some fans wanting to record a possible tying home run.
The 2-1. Try to check. It didn't look like he did. Maybe he did. He whipped it back violently enough to at least sell it if he didn't. 3-1 on Elijah Brown now. Buddy Dwayne stands on second base. Stretched a single into a double. With 1 out here in the 8th. You can feel it. It's starting to open back up for these Mammoths if they can knock one to the outfield. Brown has speed. Here's the 3-1. Fly ball to right center field. Chasing Castro back towards the stage and into the glove of Castro. Boy, balls just aren't carrying the same way here today. Advancing to third base is Buddy Dwayne. And allowed out number 2. You can see the frustration from Brown. He thought he might have had it.
That was a good shot there, but that recording on that man's phone is going to be delete because that didn't quite get enough of it. But it does advance Buddy Dwayne after he tagged up at second base.
Hit it in one of the more deeper parts of the ballpark out there in right center.
Hit it more towards the right field line than that one would have went out.
You can see even Castro having to adjust mid-routes to the baseball there as the wall really juts out in right center field. Here's the first pitch to Caruso down low. 0 for 3 today, a pair of strikeouts. Neither of these Unicorn relievers have notched a strikeout since Riggleman departed in the 6th. High leg kick, 1-0. Slider inside, 2-0 now. Everybody back. Defensively here with 2 outs. You see those corner infielders trying to prevent a double.
Middle infield is pretty wide open.
2-0, slider in there for strike 1. Took a few miles an hour off that one as well. Caruso not thrilled with the call. 8th inning brought to you by Chevrolet here today. We thank Chevrolet for their partnership with the USPBL network. Now the 2-1, tipped into the glove, the fastball at 90.
It's the biggest opportunity for the Mammoths in a long time to get at least a run in.
Slider on the ground, Lamberts. Plenty of time, deposits it to first base. And a good job to strand the 1-out double here in the 8th inning. Still stuck on a 3-1 game, the Unicorns, for their last-ditch efforts to add to that lead.
Why are all these business owners smiling? Because they rely on Tryon to handle difficult and time-consuming HR tasks like payroll, benefits administration, and more. Working with one of the nation's top professional employer organizations provides access to top-tier healthcare and employee benefit plans and Tryon's team of attorneys and HR experts. With Tryon, you don't have to grow it alone. Visit RelyOnTryon.com.
You can always rely on Tryon.
We build roads, bridges, wind farms, and pipelines, schools to skyscrapers. Our members create monuments. We operate. We're the operators and mechanics behind the advanced heavy machines that move Michigan forward. We maintain boilers and HVAC. Our members run the complex heating and cooling systems that we all depend on. Our training is second to none, and safety is our priority. We are Operating Engineers 324, and we keep Michigan running.
Great seats at a great price. Get them safer, simpler, and smarter with Ticket Smarter. A proud partner to the biggest names in live sports and events, including ESPN events and iHeartRadio. Ticket Smarter has seats for over 125,000 live events and 48 million tickets for sale. All backed with the Ticket Smarter 100% ticket guarantee. Thinking about your next great live event? Think smarter. Think Ticket Smarter. Get your tickets your way, guaranteed, at Ticketsmarter.com.
There's Kyle Bischoff, has some of the best stuff in the USPBL. The Michigan State product went to Utica Eisenhower here very close to the ballpark. Also spent 4 years at the University of Toledo. Fastball, slider, changeup for this hard thrower. Bischoff, another guy who is technically draft eligible. We talked about that with Paul Nochi a bit. Just kind of an awkward or an odd situation for some of these guys who have played this year in college at a high level as he did in the Big Ten. And obviously the draft has now been cut down to 20 rounds in the last few years, even less than that back in 2020. So some guys who would have been picked after round 20 might just be picked up as undrafted free agents after it's over, as Louis Attilas follows this one back. But just kind of odd to say that even draft eligible with a guy playing in independent ball, and not something that you would necessarily speak of in years past, but it's possible. 0-1 hit him in a bad spot with a 93-mile-an-hour fastball.
Looks like he got him in his upper back, possibly the lower neck, maybe even the shoulder blade. It's a dangerous area. Yeah, Lewis is going to be feeling that one for a little bit.
Yeah, just above the top of his number, it looks like, where he was hit as we look at our YouTube monitor. Yeah, maybe right on the number, but regardless, doesn't matter where it was hit. 93 zinging in on you that had some late tail.
It's not going to feel good.
So Bewley will now, or Bischoff, I beg your pardon, will now keep a close eye on first base. Highest fastball we've seen so far from him, 95. Changeup skips. Fires back to first base, but Attilas is there.
It's a good throw down there by Caruso. Elijah Brown would have turned the other way, possibly would have got his foot.
(1-0), fastball buried into the glove, 1-1. One of those guys that likes to throw the slider up. We're starting to see that a bit more in even Major League Baseball these days as well. Something he picked up at MSU this year. Some other guys around him were doing it as well. 1-1 on the ground, double play territory. They can't keep it in though. Attilas to second base, and here come the Unicorns looking to add to their lead in the 8th.
It's a true shot back up the middle for Matt Parkinson. He continues to be one of the league leaders for catchers in hitting.
Quick visit here from his catcher, Nick Caruso. Bischoff this year at MSU, their closer. We talked about it before. Not a lot of wins to be had overall for the Spartans in baseball this year, but his save figures were impressive. 12 saves, and I believe over just 23 wins or so for the Spartans this year. Dwayne to second, over to first. Got it!
That's going to be a possible contender for a Sports Center. Top play over there by Buddy Dwayne, making a sliding play over there to track one up the middle. And a nice play by a quick glove flip to get the double play.
Just a bounding ball. Immediate dive by Dwayne. Quick flip to Perez over to first for the second out. And now a big run, still standing on third base. There's some more action in the Unicorns pen as well. Maybe guys just stretching. You could very well see another inning from Perry Bewley, who looked good. Swing and a miss. Drew Galassi. Deciding where we are right now. 3-1, the lead for the Unicorns. That was a home run off a line to right in the 6th, where, let's face it, not a lot of guys were cashing in on the limited opportunities that we saw. 94-mile-an-hour fastball in for strike 2.
This man right here is the difference in this game.
The 0-2, swing and a miss. Power against power, and Bischoff wins. He does his job, keeps the game right where it is. The Mammoths will have 3, 4, 5 when we get back.
At Fifth Third Bank, we're working hard to make banking a Fifth Third better, which means we put 166.7% into everything we do.
I think you can only give 110%.
Well, with free checking, fraud protection services, and an automatic savings tool to help you quickly reach your goals, 166.7% is possible.
Oh, wait till my 8th graders hear about this. They're gonna be like, it's not possible. Well, yes it is.
This is banking, a Fifth Third better.
You hear about the promo that Jimmy's John's got going on? 5 off 20? How they pulling it off? Magic?
You got David's Copperfields in there? Show yourself, Copperfields!
Jimmy John's. $5 off orders of 20 or more.
What makes Detroit Mercy so unique is the fact that it's in the middle of Detroit. The urban setting is really fantastic to be a part of, and especially with their service learning programs, you really get a chance to be a part of the community.
My education here isn't just academic. This school wants you to be the best you that you can be. All aspects of the things that I do here have participated in giving back.
Detroit Mercy. Build a boundless future.
Perry Bewley out there for his second inning of work, looking to finish things off here in the 9th. Nothing became of the one-out double by Buddy Duane. He eventually reached third. But a line out and a ground out kept him right where he was. And that's what this Mammoths team has been facing really since the first inning. A home run on the first batter of the game, Elijah Brown, on a 2-0 pitch to right field. Other than that, they have not had a single base runner cross home plate. Hit by pitch, reached on an air and a double. That's been it against a few relievers now as well. Brian Leaf, Houston Parker, Connor Bagneski, 3, 4, 5 in this lineup. In the top of the 9th inning, trying to keep this game alive. Wade Weinberger Jr. and Duncan Hewitt, the two available off the bench if Taylor Jelagowski wants to go that route. Wouldn't guess that he'd replace any of these guys. Just if they started to rally and are looking for a lead at some point in the later end of the lineup, maybe.
Yeah, Wade Weinberger Jr. is not really one of the infielders. That one's popped foul. And Duncan Hewitt is also one of their reserve catchers. And Nick Caruso was the last batted out. So it's not going to be a while until if we see one of these reserve players in.
Stick around for the post-game show. We'll catch her up with our player of the game in our Detroit Mercy post-game. Now the 0-2 on the designated hitter.
Coming up in the second half of the season, the first game, it's going to be First Responders Night on July 14th coming up. Showing our appreciation to the dedicated men and women of Michigan.
1-2, line right to Hodo for the first down.
Good grab over there by Hodo.
Yeah, 1 up and 1 down here in the 9th, and Houston Parker will now look to get on once again. He's been hit twice in this game, kind of in the same spot near the elbow. Once in the first against Adrian Cook, or against Riggleman, and once against Riggleman again in the 4th as well. First pitch to Parker. Fastball high.
Some action over there in the Unicorn bullpen.
Popped up to the left of first. 2 up and 2 down. Perry Bewley looking for this 2-inning save here today.
Don't know if the Unicorns are necessarily going to need those ons. They're just warming up to stay warm.
First pitch to Bagneski. Slider in for strike one. It's been a good fastball slider today for Perry Bewley. Now the 0-1. Outside, velocity is dipped a bit on the fastball, unless that was the changeup. Kind of a harder changeup for Bewley here in this ninth inning. We've seen it a couple times. 85, 86, 1-1, swing and a miss. Trying to lift and separate to get this game one run closer. But now Bewley one strike away from getting out of this thing. Just 2 losses this year for Utica. They're looking to stamp win number 13 on the board with one more strike. Here's the 1-2. Got it. Couldn't hold up on the elevated fastball at 90 miles an hour, and it's a 1-2-3 ninth inning for Perry Bewley. He gives up just a double in 2 innings. That was with 1 out in the 8th to Buddy DeWayne, kind of a single that he stretched to a double. Able to keep this game right where it is and notch a nice victory for his team going into the short All-Star break. 3-1 your final score. University of Detroit Mercy postgame show coming up when we get back on the USPBL Network.
If I hit a home run, then you know what's going out of the park. Yeah, bases loaded, we ain't letting up. Scoring back to back, you can count it up. United we stand together, divided we fall. Ain't no turning back, we done came too far to turn around and have a seat now. We don't compare, cause we unicorn. Illuminate the dark with my uniform. Every time you see me stand up and salute me. It ain't no competition, not even from you. If I hit a home run, then you know what's going out of the park. Yeah, bases loaded, we ain't letting up. Scoring back to back, you can count it up. United we stand together, divided we fall. Ain't no turning back, we done came too far to turn around and have a seat now. We don't compare, cause we're unicorns. Illuminate the dark with my uniform. Every time you see me stand up and salute me. It ain't no competition, not even from you.
Slide into a new home. Work with a local mortgage pro who works for you. Get a cheaper, faster, easier home loan. Find a mortgage broker near you today at findamortgagebroker.com.
You hear about the promo that Jimmy's John's got going on? 5 off 20? How they pulling it off? Magic?
You got David's Copperfields in there? Show yourself, Copperfields!
Jimmy John's. $5 off orders of 20 or more.
Great seats at a great price. Get them safer, simpler, and smarter with Ticket Smarter. A proud partner to the biggest names in live sports and events, including ESPN events and iHeartRadio. Ticket Smarter has seats for over 125,000 live events and 48 million tickets for sale. All backed with the Ticket Smarter 100% ticket guarantee. Thinking about your next great live event? Think smarter. Think Ticket Smarter. Get your tickets your way, guaranteed, at Ticketsmarter.com.
We're the financial champion of Michiganders. Whether you're a goal-getter or dream chaser, an empty nester, or up-and-comer, anyone in Michigan can bank with us. Michigan Schools and Government Credit Union.
Dunham Sports is a proud partner of the USPBL. Big names, low prices, delivering value since 1937.
Every summer, my family loves to have a neighborhood movie night in our backyard. And with my Chevy Blazer, I can head out and get everything we need for a great night. It has plenty of room for picking up friends, and the available hands-free liftgate is perfect for loading unhandy supplies. You know, it may be movie night, but my Blazer is the main attraction wherever I go.
Lease a 2022 Blazer 2LT for just $239 a month for 24 months. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
We build roads, bridges, wind farms and pipelines, schools to skyscrapers. Our members create monuments. We operate. We're the operators and mechanics behind the advanced heavy machines that move Michigan forward. We maintain boilers and HVAC. Our members run the complex heating and cooling systems that we all depend on. Our training is second to none, and safety is our priority. We are Operating Engineers 324, and we keep Michigan running.
Get great seats, safer, simpler, and smarter with TicketSmarter. Choose great seats from over 125,000 live events, all backed with a TicketSmarter 100% ticket guarantee. Get your tickets smarter at ticketsmarter.com.
Jimmy John's Field is the perfect venue for birthday parties, summer picnics, company outings, and provides the best entertainment in Metro Detroit with great baseball all summer long. Spend your summer nights under the lights at Jimmy John's Field in historic downtown Utica.
I'm all in with HR and Organizational Development Council.
I'm all in with Marketing and Business Development Council.
I'm all in with Operations and Member Experience Council.
I'm all in with CEO Council.
I'm all in with Lending Council.
I'm all in with CFO Council.
I'm all in with Technology Council.
Our credit union is all in with CUNA councils.
Slide into a new home. Work with a local mortgage pro who works for you. Get a cheaper, faster, easier home loan. Find a mortgage broker near you today at findamortgagebroker.com.
Jimmy John's Field is the perfect venue for birthday parties, summer picnics, company outings, and provides the best entertainment in Metro Detroit with great baseball all summer long. Spend your summer nights under the lights at Jimmy John's Field in historic downtown Utica.
So I come in, I'm like, oh my god, that's almost to the wall. Yeah, it was great. I think he's got a lot of confidence. You gotta get that rhythm. Yeah, it's tough.
Throughout your life, from big moments to ones well earned, we're your financial guardian angel. Alliance Catholic Credit Union.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Make your move with a quick and easy mortgage from Genesis Credit Union. We have mortgages to fit your life. Genesis Credit Union. Visit us today.
Well, a big 3-1 win for the Unicorns here today, kind of finishing off the first half of the season. 14 wins overall as we welcome you back to the Detroit Mercy post-game show. Drew Galassi now joins us, our player of the game here today. Well, a number of things I want to hit on, but, firstly at bat, what was the approach in that sixth inning when you rocketed the home run?
I've been in a little slump these past couple weeks trying to be comfortable in the box, and today was that first day in a while that I got back to just in rhythm and got to 2 strikes, and I was like, I'm not striking out right here. I'm putting something in play. Luckily, hung a slider right in my wheelhouse, so felt good to get back on the home run board.
Any adjustments have you made to try to get back there?
A little bit, thinking more like trying to think ground balls and back to my approach from last year, trying to hit line drives into the opposite field gap, because I feel right now just overswinging, knowing what I can do with being here last year. I got the power for home runs. I just got to stop trying for it, just let it happen.
Does it make it a little easier with that approach, I guess, hitting at the top of the order as well?
A little bit. Less pressure. I'm more of a leadoff guy, just kind of put the ball in play, use my legs as well as I can because I can run well, so I just got to get back to that hard hit mentality rather than home run hitter.
You guys definitely have some pop in this lineup, a few additions lately, but how about Ari Sakopoulos, what he's done this year as well?
Oh, I love seeing it. I love all the work we put in and the days we don't play. You see him swinging off the machine more than anyone else and just seeing all his efforts coming out and actually translating into the game. It's awesome.
Well, after your home run, Leaf came to the plate in the 6th inning as well. He broke his bat. And you thought what when he's broke his bat?
Usually when someone hits it with a broken bat, it's not that well hit, but I took a couple steps in, and then all of a sudden I knew I was on my full speed back to the warning track trying to catch that. But, you know, if he keeps his bat intact, I can only imagine what kind of power he has.
Well, your teammate Ari Sakopoulos will hit in the home run derby here tomorrow. Any thoughts about what the derby could bring?
I think we'll have a lot of good competition between it. I did it last year and just want to say be prepared. You think it'd be easy to swing for 2-3 minutes straight. That takes so much out of you, they have no idea. But it'll be fun.
A lot goes into the pitching as well and where you want it, right?
Yeah, exactly. You got to have a pitcher that's feeding your sweet spot. Every hitter knows where that is. Most lefties, it's about down and in, and I know Ari's been working with our coach Guzman trying to get that sweet spot figured out for him.
He's a pretty good BP thrower, isn't he?
Yeah, it always helps when your coach is a former player. They kind of have that rhythm down, so it's always nice.
Well, Drew, thanks for stopping by here today. Best of luck going forward in the second half.
Thank you very much.
It's Drew Galassi, our player of the game here today. His Unicorns win 3-1 on the USPBL Network. Tomorrow, the All-Star Game and the Home Run Derby. We'll have a pregame at 5:15 here on Facebook and YouTube on the USPBL Network. See you then.